Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and respected guests. Very happy to see you here in Toastmasters Club, Kyiv Toastcrackers, in the House of Scientists of Ukraine. It's an honor to be a chairperson today, and as I see a lot of new faces. Maybe you're not new, I just was absent for 1 month and maybe I haven't seen you. But for you to know, Kyiv Toastcrackers Club was established in 1999 and got the charter from the International Toastmasters Organization. So we are the first club in Ukraine. Now the movement has enlarged. We have many clubs in Kyiv. So we were the beginners, and now we are very happy that we survived all difficult years. It was about 20 years this year, and you are all welcome. I'm not sure whether all those new faces are really new, but we have a good tradition in our club that we invite all newcomers to introduce themselves, to say very briefly your name, maybe your profession, how do you know about our club, your expectations, several words, several sentences, not more than 30 seconds. And I would like to invite those who are for the first time to stand up and make their first speech in our club. Let me introduce, or let me invite this young man.
I'd love to. Should I come over there?
Whatever you want.
Okay, I can
If
come.
you feel comfortable.
Yeah, I will feel.
Yes, please. And we'll always applaud to each other. So let's applaud ourselves.
Hello, members of the great Toastmaster Club. My name is Can. It's Can Kutay. I'm from Turkey, essentially. I used to live in Istanbul. Right now I'm studying here in Kyiv, in Medical University. Other than that, I came here to improve my skills. And yeah, I think that's about it. Like, I will try to get out of the comfort zone and like try something new, get out of anxiety for like talking in front of all these people. So that's my goal. I'm glad to meet you all. I hope we have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we go further. Young man, please. Here.
Me?
Yes.
It's not my first time actually here.
Not the first time. Okay, what is your name?
Vlad.
Vlad.
Vladislav.
Vladislav. Okay, good. What about you, young lady?
I'm the first time.
Okay. Applaud.
Hello, my name is Marina. I live in Kyiv all my life. My profession is sales manager. Also, I'll try last year to learn as a guide and attend some events with professional guides. I'm here because I would like to improve my conversation level in English to communicate with Tatjana. You.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, I don't think you're for the first time. You've been here.
It's not.
Not first time. Good. And you, excuse me?
Yeah.
Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Strong beginning. Very good idea for your future speeches.
Yes, thank you everyone. My name is Artem, so I'd like to improve my presentation and this speech level. So I want to, I've been changed a role in my company, and I would like to improve my skills and present better to customers. And so it's my first time here, and thank you very much.
Did I miss someone? No? Good. Thank you very much. I haven't seen you, young lady, but I know that you are the member of the club.
Yes,
Am I right?
I was member of the club.
Okay.
It's first time here.
Okay, good, good. I'm sorry, I missed the whole month and I missed the club very much. I was very far away, couldn't get here. So, usually Toastmasters meeting begins with the introduction of all the roles. And we have several people, we sometimes call them technical roles. I don't like this name because this is not technical, this is very important role in every club meeting. It's the team of evaluators. It's a timer, a counter, and grammarian. Let's start with grammarian. And I invite Maria Shiko as our grammarian for today to introduce her role to the audience. Please, Maria.
Well, good evening, guys. And first of all, I would like to welcome you here today because like every meeting is the first. And today I'm going to be your grammarian. I'm very happy to be the one today, and I'm going to explain you what I'm going to do today. So, firstly, I'm here to listen all the speeches and analyze them and write down all your mistakes. At the end of our meeting, I will tell each of you which mistakes you have made. And I will be analyzing all this like and all this kind of stuff sometimes. Also, I will check their correctness of the time using, and we have the tradition. Newcomers will understand that we have a special board that we need to use in all of our speeches. And today's word is gonna be optimism. So, in each the emails, you need to or you might to use this word. And then I will like, okay, you can use it. Like, it is not it's not an obligatory, but anyway, it will be a great pleasure if you will use it. So, I'm here to be a grammarian today, and thank you all.
Thank you. And if you use it as many times as possible, we will see who is the winner of this little competition. Our next very important role is a timer. The timer today is Lyudmila Shevchenko, our member, experienced guide, and
I will be the timekeeper today because it's very important to monitor the time used by every speaker. And we can improve our skills when we can deliver our speech in certain amount of time. It will be different minutes, different time for different speakers, 5 or 7 minutes, or 3 minutes, or 2 minutes. It will be explained before speaker come here, and I will show you, as a time keeper, I will show you how you use your time. I will show you 3 cards, different colors, green, yellow and red. And it means, if I show you green card, it means that you have 1 minute until your speech will end. If I show you yellow card, it means that you have 30 seconds until end of your speech. And if I show you red card, it means that your time is over. The time of your speech is over. But don't scare and don't. It doesn't mean if I show you red card that you should to stop your speech and go away from this page. Yes, no. You should finish your speech and to say all what you want. In the end of our meeting, I will give a report about time used by every speaker.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ludmila. You are very lucky to have a kind timekeeper today. Very kind timekeeper. If you see the red card, you must think that this is your time. Your time is over. And you should try to finish as soon as possible. Not to say everything you want, because time is very important. And we as Toastmasters will learn to manage the time correctly. We have the third role. It is the role of accountant, and I would like to invite Alexander or your neighbor to be our accountant for today. Helena,
Okay.
would you like to be accountant? Do you know the role?
Yes.
Okay, we
I
invite Helena.
was one time.
Wonderful. We invite Helena to be our accountant today.
Hello to everyone, my name is Elena. Today I will be an accountant. This role is also very important for everyone, for your speeches, because I will try to catch all the crunch sounds or bad words or repeated phrases that will be in your speeches. Crunch sounds, it's the sounds like and repeated phrases like that's why, then, and etc. I wish you a good evening, good time here, and to make interesting speeches.
Wonderful. Okay. Now it's time to get to the point. Usually Toastmasters meeting consists of 2 parts. The first part is prepared speeches that were prepared beforehand by the speakers, usually by members of the club. And the second part will be non-prepared speeches, and everybody will be able to participate, not only members of the club, but also guests too. So we start with prepared speeches. And it's my pleasure to announce our first speaker for today, our guest, and I hope our future potential member of the club, Maria Shiko, with her speech named Informational Overload, the 21st Century Challenge. The 21st Century Challenge, Maria Shiko.
Dear friends, may I ask you a question? How many times per day you spend on your social networks and on your work?
Ничего лишнего нету.
Anyone?
Quite a lot.
Okay, good. Someone else?
1 hour
1 hour.
a day? Yeah.
I use phone 1 hour a day or even like 30 minutes as it was recommended by all international companies actually. Because talking about 21st century, actually we use statistically phone 6 hours a day. Thinking periodically or kind of rapidly, but anyway, 6 hours a day. Think about it, it is like a third part of our day actually. And what can we do to this third part of our day? Well, first of all, we use all these 6 hours to check our social networks, to check on the news, check on the TV, radio, on all this news. Thinking about it, it is kind of overload our mind, and the norm is, it is only 30 minutes. The norm for checking your internet is only 30 minutes. And actually, like counting on the 2018, the whole amount of the world, like completely together, could have spent for 1 milliard of hours, like sitting on the internet, just like completely together, like no less, not much, but just different. And it is actually a bad idea to check your phone when you just like wake up in the morning, because you kind of wake up together with your phone and you just like, oh my god, again all this news. You are not going to wake up actually. And yeah, but it just didn't wake up, but you know. But it's not all of you. It is like all people do this in our time, and it is a bad idea. But anyway, we can live with it. And here is some tips. Like, first of all, we can turn off our phones for a while, just like, and 1 hour off. Then, also I found a tip that we can just say to our relatives that we are going to check our phones just like 2 times a day, or maybe 3 times a day, no more, just like, I'm going to be at 5 p.m. online. And that's all. Also, it is a very good idea to unsubscribe to all channels that you think is really unimportant for you and really doesn't do any sense for you. Because all this information that you consume during the day, it really like sits down in your head, and you don't need all this information, like just a little amount of it. But anyway, it is in your head. Also, I think it is a bad idea to think when you want to know some more information, just like, well, I'm going to spend this 5 minutes in my Instagram. Well, right. Firstly, what are you going to know? What is the purpose of your sitting on your Instagram? And try to see when this information is going to be helpful, when it is going to be useful for you, and not to be, just like this little bit of trash sitting here, just like Kim Kardashian is a pretty woman, but I don't think you need to see her photos like every 5 minutes, like let's be honest. And also, it is a very good advice that I found on a really different site about that whether this information is going to help you in like in 10 days or maybe in 2 weeks, or are you going to remember this information in a month's time, for example. And I don't know how it is in your life, but the information that I consume, I don't really use it so much, but I'm a psychology student, and I need to consume information just like 24 hours per 7. And here is the summary of my speech. Try to filter the information that you consume, because all the amount of information that you eat per day is pretty huge. But actually, you will be better if you are not going to overeat.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Maria. I hope you enjoyed the speech, and I hope that we will take some lessons from each speech. Our next speaker for today is Lyudmila Shevchenko, and her speech is titled
Selfie.
Selfie. Selfie. Lyudmila Shevchenko.
I just prepare for my speech.
Yes.
No, I am myself. Don't worry. My speech named Selfie, it's another challenge of 21st century.
And what project is it? What project? What number of your project?
Why do we like selfie in our life? Because we want to see ourselves from the side, because we want to save expressions, because we want to stop moment. The people make pictures of themselves everywhere in different places, in various poses, and post all these photos in the social networks with a great pleasure. I everything thought, who is interested watching all these photos in Facebook, for example? I'm eating, I'm drinking, I'm swimming, I'm in such clothes, I'm in such clothes, and so on. But recently I have this experience, and I experienced all these contradictions in my recent trip in Europe. Some days ago it was. And I wanted to see everything. I wanted to make pictures of everything, including myself. I wanted to listen guide and also to have enjoy of a place that I visited. But it was not enough time for everything. And what I should to do in this case, I think. What I should to do, to stop hurry. Don't hurry, don't worry, and you will be happy. I thought about this when I was in little town in Czech Republic. It called Mikulo, and in the way to the big beautiful castle, on the middle of the way was the beautiful observation deck. And under the big pine tree was one memorial, the granite plate, big granite plate, and at the foot of this granite plate was a small inscription, memento mori, small inscription in iron plate. And it was so beautiful landscape around this plate, and there was this place, and all of us, all members of our group, wanted to make photos to see this landscape, and only those people who stopped here calmly can find out this inscription and read it. And when I have read this inscription, I thought it will be nice at that moment that my camera in my smartphone is dead, or if I forget it at home, I would enjoy of this place calmly and with a great pleasure. But I want to say that selfie is not the feature of our modern time, is not the feature of 21st century. Every time, many years ago, people wanted to depict themselves for the future. They depicted themselves in the cave painting, in the stone statues. They depicted themselves on the coins, of course, who had such possibility, and also they depicted themselves on the portraits. It also kind of selfie, I think. I got this idea when I was visiting Albertina Museum in Vienna and watching the pictures of great painter Albrecht Dürer. Among a lot of his painters in this museum, there were several self-portraits. He made several self-portraits, and these portraits impressed me a lot. Why? Because he drew themselves in different ages, in different period of his life, and it was not only fast picture, fast images like we do it today. It was the work that needed the long time for drawing. And all this time, I think he looked at the eyes of his own eyes in the mirror and looked at his face, at his own body, and thought a lot about his time, about his life, I think. That's why these self-portraits so impressed all people who look this portrait. And I want to share with you these pictures, these self-portraits, but not mine, but a great painter, German painter who lived in the end of 15th century, Albrecht Dürer. She was a German painter. He made his self-portrait in different ages. As a teenager, 13 years old, as a young boy, then as a young man, and then as an adult man. And why these pictures impressed me so much, I think? I think because she put a lot of time drawing himself. And I thought at this moment, it's not a fast random image, it's not a fast random click on your smartphone. And I thought that our quick photo on smartphone is like one-day butterfly, appeared in the morning and disappeared in the evening. I asked myself, is it necessary to litter the social networks by my one-day photos? Maybe not. But why people want to share some photos, some selfie with another people?
Can I take
There
one?
is such book and the same movie
Take this one.
that named Eat, Pray, Love. You know maybe. Eat, Pray, Love. About one young woman traveling around the world, and someone said, it's wonderful to travel around the world. So travel, eat, pray, love, but don't post all it in the social network. I agree with him totally. I agree with him, of course, but I have a little secret. I'm thinking now about my next post in Facebook tonight after our meeting today, when I return home. Because people always want to share what impressed them with other people. And I want also to share with you pictures that impressed me. That's why I thought up this little story about selfie. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Selfie
Thank you for
stick.
using beautiful paintings and pictures. I asked Ludmila before her speech what is your project, just to explain to our newcomers that every member of the club starts with first 10 projects, 10 speeches, beginning with ice-breaking speech, when the person explains a little bit about himself or herself. And then in every next project, we develop some skills. Using your voice, using gestures, using different vocabulary, using paintings or picture visual aids, and so on. So it was only the second project, but it seemed like the 10th project. Thank you very much. In the end of our meeting, we will hear the evaluations of these speeches. And now we come to the second part. The part where everyone can participate. You will not be asked to pronounce long speeches. For table topics, you will have to answer the question, or if you have a topic to speak about. Main idea is to come here to address the audience and pronounce short speech of 2 minutes. Use 2 minutes to make a speech. If you don't know the exact answer to the question that you will be asked, it's not a problem. You may deviate from the main question and speak about whatever you want. The main idea is to entertain the audience, attract the attention of the audience, and have fun. Usually, there is a table topic master at every Toastmasters meeting. The person who asks the questions or gives topics to speak about. Today, since the table topic master is not here, we will do something that was created in our club. No other clubs in the world, and there are about 300 or 400 clubs in all the world. By the way, there are many clubs in Turkey too. We once had a guest from Turkey Toastmasters, yes. So today we will do table topic marathon. Do you know what marathon is?
Like original meaning of the marathon.
Original meaning.
It's a kind of race.
A race.
Like 42 kilometers.
Okay, and what is important in the race? That in some kind of marathons, you do some distance and then you give the little stick to another sportsman, and another sportsman continue. So the team that comes first is a winner. We will not have a competition, but we will have the same principle. I will be the first table topic master. I will ask the question. I will invite some of you to answer the question. And you come here, you answer the question or make a speech in 2 minutes. And then you invite another person from the audience to be next table topic master. So the next person will ask the question. And so on and so forth. So one person is asking question, next person is answering. Then next person is asking and answering. The regular principles of table topics, that all participants should participate, all people should participate. But we have a lot of people today. Try not to ask people who prepared speeches already. Try to ask those who didn't say a word. We want all people to participate in the meeting. And if you don't know the name, if you don't remember the name, just show with your hand who do you want to ask the question. Any questions? Understandable? Good. Okay. My first question is, what is your favorite type of holiday? How would you like to spend your best dreamed vacation? Best dream vacation. Your best holiday. The holiday of your dream. And I invite Alexander Grushko. Yes, you. Are you Alexander Grushko? Okay. Our member. Make 2-minute speech. Moment. Okay.
barrier between
Very
me
good
and us.
idea. Yes, very good
I
idea.
want to be more closely to you.
Now you can see the real Toastmaster.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. The most, I think, important for the holiday is New Year, because it is like, you know, it's a holiday that maybe combine all people in the world. It's the holiday of the earth, because everyone in this earth celebrate this holiday. That's why I like this holidays most of all. But as I am a professional photographer, in these holidays I usually walks, because my professional, it's like when some people walks, I'm free. When people celebrate, I am walking, because I have to catch the emotional to my photographer. That's why it's you know, like, maybe that's why I like holidays of New Year. And on the second place, my favorite, of course, it's my birthday, because if you said about selfie, we like ourselves. That's why birthday is the second. So in a few months we will have a new year. That I wish all for you to get some optimistic dream, and to think about your dream in this when the o'clock burn. You think
Make a wish.
yeah, make a wish and remember me. No.
Sometimes it is very useful to be absent. I was absent for 1 month and I see huge progress. I remember your first speech in Toastmasters Club when you just came, and this speech, very big difference. Thank you very much. But you didn't do another duty of yours. You need to pick the next person.
Okay.
Yeah, you may do it from your spot.
Okay.
You ask someone and that person will ask a question. You don't need to ask a question.
Any questions?
You don't need to
okay.
pick a person.
I think it will be interesting to listen a person who comes from another country. Yes, from Turkey.
To ask a question. He will ask a question.
He will ask.
Yes.
Okay, that's why let's my wife ask the questions.
Okay.
So she will ask the question, right?
I think yes.
Okay.
Okay, good. So Elena is our next table topic master.
Thank you. I ask you to tell us the best and the brightest memory from your childhood. What it was?
Wonderful.
Hello Toastmasters. This is a great evening. So I will talk to you about one of my favorite times from my childhood. So when I was a young boy, I was going to school, and like I was kind of an afraid boy. Like I was anxious. I didn't want to go to the places that like where it's really crowded and stuff. But something in me always like pushed a little bit and said, okay, you gotta go and you gotta do that, whatever that is. So one time, our teachers were picking students for a theater. It was like a competition, but it was going to be on a big stage, really big stage, and even though the audience was going to be from our like parents and just some outsiders, but mostly parents, I was afraid. I didn't know what to do, what to say. I thought that like I was going to freeze up and not going to be able to say anything. So those were my thoughts. But even though I taught them, I was like, okay, I got to do that. So I joined it, and I realized in that moment that like everybody was like that in the first time, because every new experience is difficult for us. The more you practice it, the more you get better, and the more you improve yourself. And in that moment, I realized that if I practice more, I would get better in that speech and in that theater show. So as a little kid, I remember going to my parents, and I was like, in the middle of the night, hey guys, I have to figure this out, can you help me to learn it? And they were really helpful. That was perfect. After 1 or 2 months of preparing, finally it was time to go to the stage and do the whole rehearsal and everything. So I was there. My heart was beating so fast that I thought like I wasn't gonna breathe. It was impossible, but it was a lovely day, seriously. I went there, I killed it, I hope so. At least that's what they told me, but I'm not sure though. And it was just wonderful. All the people looking at their eyes and feeling the energy, the connection in the room. I loved it. So I realized the more I push myself to do something new and something great, the more I would be able to improve myself. And that day, as a little child, I learned that human potential is infinite. You can do anything as long as you put the work in it. So that's what I want to say.
Can you invite someone
Yes, of course.
to ask the question?
Anybody new, so you have to take someone. Would you like to come? Ah, no, you need a question.
It's okay, it's okay.
No, what?
Anyone?
Would you like to come? Or?
Yes.
Okay, 1 second. Who would like to ask a question?
I would like to ask a question.
Yeah, you will ask a question. Okay.
My question is...
Alice, can you
Okay.
Can you prove or I simply, do you think that optimism is silly thing? I invite Vlad to answer.
Alright. Well, I think optimism is not a silly thing, right? Because when you're optimistic, no matter what you know, no matter what's going to actually happen, it's your mindset that actually defines your action, that defines the outcome of the event. For example, as a child, I used to be, I share the same traits as you. I was really scared, I was really afraid, anxious. I was a misfit in my class, you know. Everybody disliked me, you know. Everybody was my enemy. Imagine me coming in front of everybody like that, and everybody's my enemy. And I have to present something to my math teacher, having 6 out of 10 out of 12 on a scale of, like, my grade was 6 and the highest grade was 12. So I was really insecure at that point. And I had to tell something. Neither did I know the math, neither I was welcomed by the audience. So the thing was, I just went with the flow. I knew, all right, you're gonna cope with it. You're gonna manage it, you know? You don't want to care about what they think. You don't want to care about the math. You just try and explain stuff to people, okay? It's like in Russia, in Ukraine, we have this joke when a guy goes to an exam and he's not prepared, he doesn't know what to answer. And the only thing he knows is, как будет блока? Like in fur, on the dogs and the cats, on their bodies, so they inhabit their places. So, and the question was far removed from fleas, but he figured how to connect it to fleas, and whenever the question was, he tried to connect it to the matter that he knew, to the matter that he had expertise in. So that helped him, and that's why he persevered. And maybe even coming here on this stage, the emotional stage is the greatest one. Like, I don't care about what I'm saying, it's about my life, it's about how I deliver stuff. And that actually transforms the speech, transforms the meaning, and gives it the shape, helps to organize the thoughts, and you end up having a good speech.
Thank you very much. Next person to ask the question.
All right. So I invite a person who's going to perform. Who I invite?
No, I'm going to ask the question.
Okay. I think you are the wisest of us all, so could you ask the question?
Yes, we start here, ask a question, or give the topic to speak. It's not necessarily be a question, just topic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I want to propose the next question. Did you travel anywhere interesting place? And what is the result of this of visiting this place for your optimistic in future life?
And you need to point forward.
Yes. Okay, please, the new guy.
Yes, and then thank you very much.
Thank you for the question. So the topic is the travel that changed my point of view on optimistic, right? Okay. Optimistic. Just 1 second. Okay, I think I know. I had one trip to Germany, and it was a Christmas, Christmas, and it was a very funny trip. We expected to go to, how to say, to fair, on Christmas fair, and to shop a bit. So I had a vacation, and we just bought tickets to fly, and just it was one second decision. Just I found a cheap ticket to Germany. Let's go, and we go to Germany, and the funny thing is that everyone rests at Christmas in Germany, and everything is closed. And the optimistics, we found something interesting in Germany, even when everything is closed. So we go in bars. It was very cool beer in Germany, and we found several shops, but not too much shopping at Christmas. So I think it's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you invite the next person to ask a question?
Yeah. This guy.
Frankly, I'm very amazed by previous speech about selfie. This is a huge involvement of every person nowadays, and it's really interesting. So my question is, how many times do you make selfie till no, for today? Maybe you about
Me?
you're talking about the selfie, and you could confess.
How many times I do selfie for today? I thought before that I don't fond of selfie. And I thought about another people, why they do so much selfie and post it in social networks. But it was my big mistake about myself. We don't know ourselves till some moment, till some circumstances in our life. I also, because I'm guide. It's my job today, and I make many roads around Kiev and to another city, and I used to speak to my guests, to the children or adult person, and I every time thought, why they don't listen me, but do selfie. And I know that I want, that I can't, that I should give him the time for selfie. But I always thought, why they fondle so much by this selfie. But really, I know about myself that I also want to do this selfie, especially in really interesting places. And I understand today now that I really don't know about myself, not all. I can't say that I don't know nothing about myself, but there are a lot of things that I want to learn inside of me. That's all.
Людмила, invite please the person who will ask a question.
Person who will ask a question. Please, can I ask you, invite you here to ask a question?
It's a really difficult task, sorry, to ask someone with whom I never met before in life inside this room. So I would like to know your opinion about the best way to have a good rest, to make us optimistic and have positive emotion, because in real life we have a lot of stress. So how do you like to spend time, and what kind of rest give you power or some energy to continue yeah.
To be happy during the day.
I would like to know your opinion, because you have, I think that you have rich experience, and you can give us good advice.
Нет, ты не отвечай. Ты задавай вопрос, пожалуйста.
Yeah, thank you for you.
I think that any traveler gives you a lot of emotion, as the previous girl said, power for the next life. But I've never been in India, but I read a lot and think that if I can visit India, this country is so interesting, so fantastic, and so religious that the being there for some times, I think, gives you all about me, where asked this girl, the power, the imagination that our life is so interesting, and a lot of beautiful places you can see in this country, and people are very unusual in their manner of behavior, in their culture, very different culture, and very famous due to many outstanding people who spend time there. Even in our time, a lot of very famous people visited India to питать.
Absorb.
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 Absorb. Yes.
Абсорбировать.
Абсорбировать этого слова. A lot of energy and a lot of new thought and a lot of optimism for the next time. Thank you. I want to invite you to ask some questions.
I didn't share your impression about India. I don't know what to ask question. You asked about what action must be to improve our mood, to reset.
What kind of rest you can change your mood, or you can change your idea about something for optimistic way, for positive way, about that?
But we didn't get an answer to this question.
You can ask questions.
Yeah, you can ask any question on any topic, or just give a topic to speak.
I would like to repeat this question because I'm interested to all of you what really you can do to improve your mood every day. If you haven't possibility to travel a lot of much to India and to get a long destination, what can you do to have optimism every day in usual life?
Wonderful question. Now pick the person who would you like to answer? The person who didn't speak yet.
Okay, maybe this lady.
Wonderful lady. Yeah. Very good question about what to do to improve your.
I'm the last? Or no?
There was.
Who asked the question?
Yes, I think this is the last.
Okay.
Yes.
It was like not shock for me, but like
Unexpected. Unexpected.
It was unexpected.
Of course it was unexpected.
Use antonym of optimism. Use pessimism.
Pessimism. Okay.
It should not be necessarily a question. It can be a topic. For example.
A topic?
Of course.
What do you think about it?
When you
Okay, today words is optimism, and I want to hear from person who will came here say us about optimism, pessimism, and combine these words and obviously explain us what's the difference. Maybe we don't have a difference. Maybe we see like a bottle, like a half a bottle, the all end or empty. Or we want to understand what's the difference and how understand that a person who optimistic or pessimistic. Maybe a lot of philosophy. Yeah?
That's okay.
I ask this question because today I spoke with my friends at Tom Klassen, and we spoke about optimism in relationship, in business relationships. That's why today's was short for me.
Very
and
good.
with smiles.
Now, please, the person who will answer.
Who didn't ask? I don't know.
I did not answer. Can I?
I can help you with the camera.
Okay. Excuse me?
I think that we have one magic web, which is connecting all these contradictory positions. Optimism, and pessimism. This word is wisdom. Wisdom means the understanding of the situation, which is necessary to understand our possible actions and direction of thinking. Like, one can think in one situation that there is optimism because there is, for example, blue sky. As usual, this is very good. Good weather, good nature, the sun, but in some situations we can understand this is good clear blue sky before something bad, maybe before storm. It's because somebody will see some signs of bad weather. What is the answer? Who is right? The answer is in wisdom. The wisdom can be nature focused. There can be some knowledge of nature or sky behavior. This is the wisdom which gives the answer who is right. Optimists, for which everything is blue, clear, sun, smart, etc. Or pessimist, who look at the sky, see the black point, and cry, parents, it just safe. So we need some criteria to understand the situation. Thank you for your answer.
Thank you very much.
Who did not ask? Who did not ask the question?
I think we are out of time. So this will be our last question. Thank you very much. Let's give a big round of applause to everyone, to all the participants. Okay, now our meeting has come to the end, and we have the last part to evaluate all our performance. So the first will be evaluation of speeches, of prepared speeches, and then table topic evaluation. Okay. So I will be evaluating, yes. So I will do evaluation of Maria's speech. Dear fellow Toastmasters, prepared speech is not an easy task to do.
This is something you need to think about for a long time, to have the plan to build the speech with introduction, body, conclusion, to entertain the audience, to pick up necessary words and gestures. I think Maria has coped with the task very well. It's her second or third speech in our club, and I think that she needs to continue because she has great potential. You probably remember how she started her speech with a question. This is one of very good tips, very good, how to say, secrets or tricks of speakers. They start with a question. In such a way, they involve the audience into their topic. And it was well done. It was well done. She also had a good structure. Her conclusion was kind of visible. She even said, and now this is my conclusion, which is not necessary. Usually when we come to conclusion, it should be understandable from its vocabulary or position, but it was good to mention. She also used the space of the podium very well. She was walking back and forth nicely, quietly, not distracting our attention. The topic was very good because this is something that is very important, and it bothers a lot of people. Those who think about their free time, about their time management and their health. So thank you for putting this topic to discussion. What should be done to improve? I think that you were very well prepared. You don't need your copybook with your notes at all. You didn't look at it. It was just a safe thing to keep it in your hand, just
to keep myself.
Yeah, to keep yourself. Try to avoid it. You don't need it. In the end of your speech, you put it on the table, you used your hands, and you attracted audience even more. So the same with a pen. It's kind of a teacher's habit to keep the pen in the hand, to point to someone. And people who are sitting in the audience are afraid that now you will point to me. So don't use anything, use your hands to make some good gestures. And probably you should use your voice in a more varied way. So try to make pauses, to do like high-pitched voice and then go whisper sometimes. But all this you will learn if you start doing speeches according to the manual. You will learn a lot. So thank you for your speech, and we are looking forward to your next speeches. Now I invite Alex Busiv to have the evaluation of the second speech.
I am not an evaluator.
You are not evaluator?
Здесь записан.
It is written here. Okay. Maybe you, Alex, can make evaluation of Lyudmila's speech about selfie. You liked it, you were impressed. So make kind of
From what
evaluation.
point of view?
From point of view of Toastmasters. You have been Toastmasters for a long time.
I'm just pretending to be.
Okay, Lyudmila, I think
I think I can.
Next
you
time.
can.
Yes.
Okay, please.
The impromptu speech. Yes, I will.
Okay. And first of all, I would like to tell us about an observation. So, the speech is rather actual because this is a speech about a selfie. It is rather new phenomenon of our life because very often we see the people selling themselves, putting themselves. First of all, I would like to speak that the speech was structured and logical. It has this mirror has to own pathway from the very beginning to the very end of the speech. This is a strong side of the speech as her contact with audience. He was in contact with audience eyes, contact gestures, at scene. Everything was suitable for speaking. But what I need to mean as usual for improvement? Voice variety. Because voice variety helps people to understand the changing of ideas, the logical paths of the speech. Because voice variety is memorial. People reminded as a moment in which they are focused. Voice variety helps. I would like to say that we are not enough focus on the key moments of the speech. There's a hard to highlight crucial ideas, despite of the logic was continuous. And of course, there should be conclusion. It should be clear. Clear, even for those as like me, who, like me, were not attentive. Because if the conclusion is successful, it is reminded by everybody. As a whole, the Vienna speech was a successful speech, and I congratulate you with your part of project.
Thank you.
Thank you for attention.
Now we need to give evaluation to table topic speakers. It will be a little different today than usual. Usually we have table topic evaluator, but today we don't have one. He is sick, he didn't come. But you will vote for the best speech. Okay, can you please help me to divide it into 4 parts? So everyone will write the name of the speaker who you like best of all during table topics. Well, Ludmila will give you the pieces to write on. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pieces. We will ask everyone to repeat their names. Okay. Now the first speaker was
Can you repeat your name again?
John.
John?
John. You can write John if you want to. It's John.
John or John? So he was the first speaker. He spoke about his childhood experience. Who was the second speaker?
Me?
The first was Alexander Grushko,
Yes, then John.
then John.
Alexander Grushko was the first one. Alexander.
Да.
Then John.
Then Artem.
Then Artem.
Влад, потом был Влад.
Then Vlad.
Yes, sorry,
Vlad.
Vlad. Artem.
Артем.
Alex.
Потом был Светлана.
Svetlana was speaking about India.
Yes.
Just to remind you. Then, who else was speaking?
I was speaking.
Lyudmila was speaking about selfie again.
Yes.
Okay.
Then Lena.
Lena was speaking about ways of being optimistic. Very good.
Alex Gusev.
And
I was the
Alex
last.
was the last one speaking about wisdom. Okay? Now you write the name of the person whose speech you like best of all.
Sorry, I simply forgot this one.
She didn't speak, she just asked the question.
Ask the question.
Yeah. Next time. Okay?
Could you press the back?
Я ручку возьму.
Хорошо.
Дайте смотреть.
Okay. While Lyudmila will gather the papers and see who is the winner today, usually the winner gets the prize. I don't think we have a prize today, but next time this person will get a prize.
What does it mean?
Prize? This piece of chocolate. Okay. And now we come to the next evaluation. It will be the evaluation of our grammar. Our grammarian, Maria, will tell us how we use grammar and the word optimism. Okay, I'm here, Maria.
My favorite part, actually.
Yes.
It counts 3 minutes to that. You will evaluate all of you.
Yes.
Very
3 minutes.
Okay. So I will start with Mila Shevchenko, right? And the part that I liked was using of the words with great pleasure, poses, castle. Also, I liked memorial plate, inscription, depict, a man, and one-day butterfly. Actually, it was pretty good. And this one-day butterfly, one-day butterfly, it was actually pretty good because it was used as a phrase, you know. But also there were some cases that I would suggest to improve. It was, I guess it was because of the wordness, and it was, I have experience, but I experienced, or I have experienced. Also, some day ago, it was some day ago. And the last one, maybe not, and maybe no. The next where partner is Alexander Grushko. It was 2 times using of the word optimism, like congratulations on you.
Yeah.
And also strong parts was I liked make a wish, personal story in this speech. It was pretty good, and it was it was fair, but it was agree. It was different, but you were about to use a noun, so difference. And one more, usually works, but it is about you, so usually work. That's John, you didn't use optimism.
Yes,
but
I did.
it's okay, you're so optimistic that it wasn't real.
Alright, perfect.
About your strong words. Actually, your language skills are pretty good, so I just checked that I like the most. I like these words, like anxious, push, gotta go, even so, the connection in the room. And about bad sides, I didn't notice them.
Which one?
About bad sides.
Like mistakes.
Oh, about mistakes.
About mistakes, yeah, I didn't notice them, so.
I noticed them. Can I tell them?
I would like to hear them.
First of all, like after I spoke about it, I realized that even though it was my first time, I repeated the same idea many times with different words. So even though it made sense, it was the same thing. I could have used different words. Other than that, I don't know. I should maybe use more eye contacts and just. If it was a prepared speech, I think it would be better. But so even though it's the first time, that was about it.
But about grammatic, it was.
Thank you.
The next partner is left, and 2 times using optimism. It's pretty good. Congratulations. Also, I like the words defines.
Sorry, which one?
Defines. Like to define. Also, neither. And gives it a push. I like that one.
What's it called? You pointed that, okay.
Also about bad sides, I checked on your speech like 3 minutes until you talked, and I also didn't notice any I was out when 1 or 2 persons were speaking, so I would suggest you to evaluate them just to see how you do this, and now I will continue on the person that I picked up. Talking about India, one time you used the word optimism. That was really good. Also, strong parts, I saw it was word religious, imagination, behavior, due to, and outstanding. It is really good. And about bad sides, I think I have heard one time the ending S next to the noun I, but I think I misheard, so it is okay. Besides that, there is no mistakes. Also the next is Lena, and no usage of the word optimism, but anyway, I liked Pies of Your Soul, Pies of Your Mind, that was pretty good, also cheerful, and Charge of Energy, I like that one. But to improve those person, it is those people, because person is can't be used in plural. Also, yes. That's very good. Also, prayer. I guess it should be the process of praying, maybe
Prayer is praying even in language.
Yeah, and besides that, it was actually because you had this short sentences and there was no mistakes. Alex, also about you, there was no optimism. There were 3 times optimism actually, and I like the words behavior, wisdom, and criteria, especially criteria. points, I noticed like you always you have a tendency to miss like the part. Something bad, something is bad. Also, the answer wisdom, the answer is wisdom. And attentive, it is kind of attention. And that's all. Yeah. But actually, all of you have made a good job, and really, it is like I'm proud of all of you guys. Just like thank you very much, and let's clap for ourselves.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very optimistic grammarian. Okay. Now we hear last two reports. The report of our counter and then a timer. Okay? Our counter is Elena. And we invite her here. Thank you.
So, it's the end of our today meeting, and as you remember, my role today was to catch correct sounds and repeated phrases or words. And I will start from the first group of people who had preparing speeches. It was Ludmila and Maria. And as Maria had, I think, in my opinion, a long speech enough, you used not so many scratch sounds. And Ludmila used a little bit more scratch sounds, and also you had some repeated phrases and words like too fast and. But it was very, both of you had clear and interesting speeches, and it was clearly to understand you, and they, your speeches were quite enough calm maybe, and for me it's a good characteristic of your speeches. The next part was table topic master, and it was hard to analyze people who asked the questions because of course they used not so many words as people who had speeches. So I tried to analyze the people who gave speeches to us, and the most optimistic results have Alex Gusev, Svetlana, and Vlad. You used these sounds and words list times, about 1 or 2 times. It's a very good result. Another group is about people who used about 3 times, and it's John and Elena. I think it's also a good result because you have enough long speeches too. And the last result is about 6 or 7 times. Alexander Grushko and Artyom. It's your result, and maybe the next time you will try to catch the sounds in your speech, and will try to avoid them. Yes, and also I want to notice that today we have a better result in this task than previous Wednesday. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And our last report is from our timer, Ludmila Shevchenko.
Every speaker used allotted time, and the first was Maria, who used 6 minutes for her speech, and it was exactly the time that was allotted, I think. 6 minutes exactly. And those who participate in table topic session used their time allotted was 2 minutes, and one person didn't use all this time. It was Elena. She used 1 minute and 40 seconds. 40 seconds, but gave us 2 useful tips, advice. Actually, 4. 4. Yes, 4, I'm sorry. And another people exceeded this time. It was another group who exceeded this time. And Alexander Grushko used 2 minutes 25 seconds. John used 2 minutes and 40 seconds. But your speech was very emotional, and I even forgot to show you the green and yellow card. And it was so emotional. You have so emotional speech. Then Alex Gusev used 2 minutes 20 seconds, and another person used exactly allotted time 2 minutes. It was Vlad, Artyom and Svetlana. I congratulate you. You have a very beautiful inner timer. Congrats all of you, and thank you for
And now it's my pleasure to announce the winner of table topic session. So we have people who got 1 voice. It was Alex Gusev. 2 voices, Alexander Grushko and Vlad, 3 voices, Lyudmila, and our winner for today is John. 6 voices. If you have time and come next time, you will get a bar of chocolate. Not now.
Motivation.
Usually we award it now, and then usually people share with us, but today we are all without chocolate. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone who participated, who invested time and energy in our meeting. I think it was a good meeting. So next time we meet not here, we meet on a different, in a different facility. It's Shata Rustaveli Street, number 36. 16. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Shata Rustaveli Street, number 16, thank you, Elena. Number 16, 5th floor. You go to the entrance. The entrance is very special. It's like a round circling door. And then you go with the elevator onto the 5th floor. We were the 5th floor, yes, 5, floor number 5. So you follow us on Facebook, you will find our agenda there, and maybe you will ask for a role. You're welcome. Our former Toastmasters are welcome too. You're not pretending. You are just real Toastmaster, but just not wanting to talk sometimes. Sleepy sometimes. Okay, thank you everyone, and we announce our meeting adjourned. If you have any questions, please come up and ask.